There we go. So I want to teach you today the signature, like neutral eye look. So what I've done on this side of the mannequin is done a nice a neutral, kind of a smoky eye, but it's in a neutral coloring. And so when you, this is very like a signature look on be able to master this for everybody. And what my goal is in showing you on the mannequin and then on a person is just that we can kind of accentuate the colors a little bit more on the mannequin. So what I want you to see on this is that we have several different shades on her eye. So first of all, let me just open up my kit and I can show you the colors. And then I'll do it on a face chart for you too. So I've used on her main part of her lid, on the eye socket, the color is called, which one was it? The Shimmer Blush. Yeah, Shimmer Blush, which is this pearlized peachy one. So what we're going to do on a real model is we're going to prime her eye first, either with conceal, okay, or with your shadow primer. So because she's, you know, mannequin,
and we're going to pick up lots of the color. And I'm going to pat it onto her eyeshadow lid base there. So patting it will help the color to stay there without it falling off a lot. So you can see how. And then I'm going to brush off the excess and just kind of blend that in. So you see how this gives a really nice base color for her. Okay. And then under her eyebrow, the top brow bone area is always going to be a highlighting color. So I'm going to use this goldy one. I think it's a golden shimmer peach, it's called. So this one was more of a blush, like a creamy color for the base area, which is a good color for almost everybody for a highlight color. Okay, so if you can find one that's like that or in your kit, this is good. And then we're going to apply this brow bone color, this kind of goldy one. And you see how that's really a nice highlight. These are really nice colors. Okay. And then we're going to just kind of brush away whatever falls there. Okay, so just keep it under her brow bone, and you could actually bring it in a little bit. If she is close set or wide set, can you bring in a light color for which type of eye shape? You can bring in a highlight if she's close set. So if she has a very thin, skinny nose and close set eyes, then we can bring a brighter color down here. If she's wide set, like my eyes are a little bit wide set, which means that my eyes width is a little bit wider in between the two eyes, then we want to bring a darker color or a bright color down inside, and that will look good. So you've got to watch with people because everybody's a little bit different, and then just depending on what shape that they have. All right, so we got our highlight. And then you notice how I'm just wiping off my brush, or we have those new brush wipers. I should get one of those. And we're going to use then one of our smaller brushes. We've got a couple of smaller ones. Thanks, Victoria. So actually, hold on, let me just add the colors. So what you want to do is make up your color charts. Let's say if you're doing a makeup lesson on somebody, you want to actually, while you still have the colors on your brush, you can kind of clean off those colors by using your brush and see how that will make a nice example for your client or for you to keep. So I'm going to have you each do one of these today so that you have your signature look. Okay, so we got our blush on there, or the blending highlight color. Now we're going to do our brow bone color right under the brow bone. And if your brush makes it fall off a little bit too much, we can even use, I think in your kit, you've got like a little smaller blending brush. There we go. Okay. So you see how you've got those two colors on there. And then you can write those on there. Colors we'll do afterwards. And then this is this new little brush wiping pads to change. It's a color cleaner. Thank you. It's a color cleaner to just not get your brush wet, where you can just wipe off the excess color right here. So these are kind of cool. And just a pen too, Victoria. You can grab me a pen and I'll write these colors in here before we forget. Thank you. All right. So we got the eye color base name right here that we're going to write, which was, let's see here again. What was it? Something blush. Shimmer. Yes, shimmer like blush. Now it is a warm color, but it's kind of like a nice highlight color. Shimmer light blush. It's kind of a, it's not too, it's kind of pinky peach, but then her brow bone color is a shimmer peach. So this is the brow, would be the shimmer peach. It's really goldy peach though. So this is a warm look, a warm signature look, and we'll do it again in a cool look. Okay, so then we've got those two colors. So this, and I've checked off that it's a warm makeup look on the chart. All right, so now we're going to do our, we're going to use two colors. We've got the matte tan and the matte chocolate. And this is what I want you to perfect today, is to see the difference in the colors. So if I show you the mannequin here again up close, see if you can see it there. And from here, you can see, can you see those two colors? So you want to be able to see them. You want to see the darkest in the crease and brought out, but it's already over top of. I don't just do that one. I put down the transition color first. So you put down that transition color and then you bring in the dark color inside of it and then it just fades into it. That's how you get a really nice, like, professional eyeshadow look, and that's what's complicated, right? Is being able to do your coloring that way. So we might actually even be, just because this is on a mannequin and it might spread more, this brush might be a little bit big. This one will soften it out. It's going to take off too much of the color because the bristles are all firm. So this is a good blending shadow brush. And it even says that a tapered crease eyeshadow. So just to soften that crease color. So I have those three ready to see. All right, so let's take a little bit of the transition color, which is that matte tan. And we're going to, can you see, can you have to tell me, Victoria? I didn't set up the monitor to, can you see that okay? Yeah, that's good. Okay. So we're going above the crease and into the crease with that matte tan color. And she is a real, she's not a real person, so I'm going to blow on this just to get rid of the color. Don't do it on a real person. Don't. All right, so you can see that. It's always harder on these mannequins. Like if you can do a mannequin look, you can do like anybody's look. Because it is kind of harder. And oh, this is a little trick. This is why I have my little palette out. It's just so that your colors don't all fly away. Is to take a little bit of your beauty setting spritzer, which is a makeup setting spray, and you can use it to blend your eyeshadows. So just squirt some into one of those little cups, and that's how we'll get a better look where it's not going to all blend out on us. All right. So then see how it just makes it more defined, but let's add a little bit of color powder just to soften those edges. There we go. So you see how you got the powder on there saturated, but it's on there solid from the setting spray, but then we just blended out this edge. And if we want to bring some of the brow bone color down into it, we can do that. All right, and now we've got to add the crease. So let's use the small amount, the small brush tapered for the matte chocolate. And we're going to bring that from the, we're not going to start at the inner third. We're going to start like halfway in, because you don't want a lot of dark color on the inner part of most people's eyes. They usually can't handle it. So see how it just fades out? And then let's soften the edge. And if you girls can't see, you can always come up. Just trying to capture this so you actually have a, all right. So we're gonna go back and add some more of the transition color. And let's just add a little bit of the makeup setting spray to my brush. There we go. Because it does make the colors more vivid. And then let's soften. Let's use our blending one. There we go. And then, yeah, we're just missing the eyeliner. Okay. And we can just take that matte chocolate and just define the contouring crease there even more so. And then just blend it out. That's wet though. So the idea is that you see the dimension. You want to see the darkest shadow, and then you want to see it start to fade out, and then you want to see the underneath color show up. Okay, and then we need to do our eyeliner. So I think I used a couple of different things. Let me just get her eye though done. So we're going to use the matte tan. It's a really nice transition color. So you see how that's showing that it's above the crease line. And let's just fade it out at the inner corner. You don't want it to come even in that far, actually. Show this here. This is great for people to take home with them, and they can refer to it to recreate the looks. Okay. And let's soften it a bit with that base color. So if you end up removing too much on the shadow on the lid, then just take your original color, the highlight color, which was that shimmer light blush, and just go back over the base, the first part of her eyelid. Blending colors back and forth with your brush is how you can get them soft. Okay. And then we're going to take a little bit of that gold just to soften that edge up here. Yeah, that looks better. All right. And then, I'm so not used to wiping my brush on these. Then we're going to take that darker brown, the matte brown, and we're going to go right in the crease area. And then kind of bring it up and around out. So you see how it's more like a tail here a bit. Okay, so in that crease. Okay. Just watch see how it's a natural thing for your brush to go at that inner corner. So let's use that little fluffier brush. There. Just to lighten. So you're going to take it and lighten it right here. And even if you have to put on some of that base color again, the fluffier one with the fluffy brush, just to soften there, that's better. Because you don't want too dark at the inner. It makes them look like they're scowling and shadows their eyes. The only time you can add a little bit is if we add a little bit right at the inner corner here. But I would add the gold one then. Okay. All right, so that we got our paper face done. Here, let me give this to you before I pull up beside me here, just so I never have enough room on my table. Okay, yeah, now, then let's see. So, okay, eyeliner. So how to do a winged eyeliner. On these mannequins, it tends to go out too far. So watch that you're not out too far, because you never want it to go out farther than their eyebrow would end. So you see, if you take your brush and you go from the corner of the nose to the corner of the eye, that's as far out as you want your wing liner to go. So on these heads, it's kind of hard to see, right? So you have to look to where you're going to start your brow, and you're going to start it. We want to start in a little bit farther than just the corner of her eye. Just bring it in a little bit. Okay. So we have to draw that in too. So you need to practice that, drawing it in, and then watch that you're level and that you're not down too low. So we're going to do her eyebrows and her wing liner both. Okay, so let's use our finer brush. And we're going to first use a little bit of the setting makeup spray with our chocolate brown. And then I think I'm going to use a little bit of gel liner too, because I think it didn't quite show up enough on her. So we're starting really thin and lightly at the inner corner, and then we're going to bring it up thicker, press harder as you get out. And I want to make sure that I get the same starting point. So I'm going to eye it out first and exactly where I'm going to end. And I typically like to start from the outer. Once I get my point, I come back from the outer in. The top line, I like to have it really straight. And then the bottom one is the one that tapers out to nothing. And we're gonna have to use my little brush here. And then let's just soften it. Cut it a little bit here. Yeah, one thing with these faces. So if you have that happen, let's just take a little bit of our makeup remover, which will spray it on here. All right, and then let's do her eyebrow. I think with the eyebrow is what I used, like gel and powder. So you're going to start at the beginning. Just kind of shade in so that you get the line that you want, and then we'll add the gel. Yeah. And I think we have to actually dark, yeah. Thank you. Yeah. She has dark hair, so I'm going to use a little bit of a darker one on her brows. There we go. She's a wiggly one. Okay. How's that? And then you can come back around to cut her eyes, just to shape that a bit with a small contour liner brush with a little bit of her concealer, just to perfect that. There we go. And when you're working your palettes, anything that's like a cream, then you can scrape it out and then work from a little bit of your spatula there. Okay. How's that? Better? No? Yep. Yeah, next time I'll log in over there too. Okay. And then, let's see here. So the eyeliner, you can bring it down from the inner corner. When you're going to do the inner corner, I have them look up to the right, so it pulls it close. And then you can just line as they're looking up for that inner rim. And then we're going to put lashes on her. Down here, I'm going to close this one up. So my little tip, my little favorite things for lashes is to have a little lash compact. And of course, my paddle tweezers are my nice, easy to use paddle, so you don't poke yourself in the eye. And I grab onto the lash rim, and then I have the little applicator that actually helps to grab at the ends of the wisps. And you notice that this was the left eye because it was on the left side of my, put them back in the right order. And you can always tell if you do get them mixed up, they're always shorter at the inner corner of the full set of lashes. Okay, so it's just like that. And then There's two types of adhesives. There's like the brush on one, which is like a nice fine eyeliner. These are my favorite. Or you could squeeze out some of the what normally comes with your lashes into a little palette, but then you have to use a tiny, tiny applicator to put it on. So if you do it that way, I have these little tiny Q-tips or a little micro tip like for eyelashes and that I would use to put it on. But my favorite is liners, in the lash liners. So I sell the Kiss Me one and the Absolute New York or the Duo. They're all good. I like though the Absolute New York is drier and it dries faster. But the Kiss Me one says that it's like I think it's like 2 days it'll last on. But with this one, you don't really need to let it dry. Whereas with the Duo ones, you need to like hold it in front of a fan for a few seconds. But then what you do with this little eyelash applicator is just, you go in exactly curved with their eye shape and just press it in. And then I take my paddle tweezers and just fix the corners. So let's just get this here. And then you let go. And then just kind of press in the corners, the inner and the outer, and perfect. And I usually have them open their eye a bit. So that, you can make sure that that it's in the right placement. There it goes. Oh. Everything's a little bit harder on these mannequins, huh? There we go. And then just take rubbing alcohol to clean all the adhesive off of your tweezers and sanitize them in between people. There we go. Now, for her blush, when you want to try to work on the mannequins, either powder is good, but she's a dark skinned. So you know what I used? I used the lipstick. I used the lipstick and I just blended it with my finger, and that's how I did her blush. So any cool? Yeah, but just because these are kind of light, although I did give you those other darker colors, but with dark skinned makeup, you need really highly pigmented, and these are a little bit light, and it just didn't show on her already. And then just a little trick with her lip, with her lips. What I did was I went around and I lined, and then I filled it in with the color. Then I added a little bit of the gold highlighter. I think I used bronze glitter top coat on the center of her lips to give her an ombre look. So she was like orange lipped, and then I used that gold bronze glitter center one just to make her lips really pop. And when you're outlining their lips, just make sure that the bottom lip always extends out of the top lip. Because if you put the top lip out, extend it onto the outer, it'll make them look like they have droopy lips. So whenever you're doing your lip line, you have to make sure that the top lip comes inside of the bottom lip. If you want to see an exaggerated view of it, just look at a clown's lips. You know how clown faces are? And if they're a happy clown, the bottom lip comes way out and the inside lip extends inside, and it makes their mouth turned up. So if they're a sad clown, it's the opposite way. The top of their lip goes out and the bottom lip extends in, and it makes them look sad. So it's a little bit like that too with people. When you're perfecting their lip shape, sometimes we might make them kind of look kind of funny looking. So make sure that the bottom lip extends outside of the corner of the top lip, and then that will make them look like they have turned up lips. And nice. This one showed up better than this side, but that's just, of course, just because she's like a wiggly wobbly head for me. Okay, so that's your signature neutral eye look. So just to recap, we've got the lightest color with a firm, wide brush. to put on the eye socket, your lightest pearlized color, or a matte even, but this one looked really nice on her because it's bright eyes. And then we did a gold bronze, the gold shimmer peach, I think it is, right under the eyebrow bone. Then we took our transition color of the tan, the matte tan one, and went above the crease and extended out. Then we took a thinner brush with those colors, and let's do, yep, the thinnest one or an angled one to do the chocolate, matte chocolate right in the crease and extend it up to a point a bit, and then soften it out with your shading brush so that you can still see the three colors there: gold brow bone, matte tan color, and then transitioning underneath that dark chocolate contour line. And then your wing liner, make sure that it comes in thicker from the outer corner, disappearing almost into nothing, lining the rim of their eye and their tear duct, and then that it ends no farther out than their line up with their eyebrow and their nose and the corner of their eye. And it's kind of tricky to get both eyes the same. I just try to even put a little dot or to spot it so that you can do the other angle exactly the same. And I usually have them turn their head, and I come from this side because I'm left-handed, so I come from this side and bring it out. Easy for me to do this side, bring it out left, but then I just turn them a bit and balance my baby finger on their cheekbone and bring it here. Okay, so how about if you, we'll finish that face chart, but you can get a face mannequin and try it with your colors. And I was just gonna go over everything with you, okay? So I can have a private conference with you. And Victoria will help you with that. Sound good?